Nah, I mean, I don't train for knockouts. I don't train for knockouts. I can train for punish. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you see a joker get knocked out. Lucky punch. I didn't see the punch. Don't remember nothing. When you whoop him. Joker said, "Listen, yeah, I remember that fight, man. That was the hardest fight I had." Because he had a chance.
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
What do you feel like Lamont Roach is really good in? Like, do you feel like his inside game is probably like underrated? What do you feel like his best attribute is?
He just did. He got off the canvas once. It ain't about the dub with me. It's about you got that will against will. I don't know. I know I can. I ain't pushed no buttons with Tank yet. I came from a...
After rejoining Gervonta Davis's training camp, his coach Calvin Ford took verbal shots at Lamont Roach, claiming that Roach had faced the weakest version of Tank. Reporters were granted access to Davis's camp yesterday, where they questioned Coach Calvin about how preparations were going and what adjustments were being made to ensure a win over Lamont Roach.
We can't wait to see Kenny here. All is here. You know, everybody was putting that energy in the air.
Which I used to do behind doors, now it's in the light.
According to Coach Calvin, the version of Tank that faced Lamont Roach wasn't the fierce knockout artist who had stopped 28 of his 30 opponents. That wasn't Tank, he stated. That was the softest version of Tank anyone's ever witnessed. While acknowledging Roach's skills, Calvin stressed that Roach had faced Davis on an off night and still only managed a draw. We'll show what a good day really looks like, Calvin added. The Tank I see in training now is the one. We've always known Lamont has triggered the right response.
Gervonta Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight, everybody.
Coach Calvin revealed that Gervonta Davis was dealing with a lot in the lead-up to their first fight. He recalled a moment when Tank even called off the fight, saying he was done with boxing. I can't say whether it was my absence or something else that pushed him to that point, Ford admitted. I think it was just him. Although he couldn't pinpoint the exact issue, Calvin promised that Lamont Roach would now experience the full power of Davis's return. This time he's coming with fire, he said, referring to the intensity Davis has shown throughout the training camp since his comeback.
He watched him, he said, boom, and I see the light in Tank. You know, I just can't wait to see all of that come together, fight night.
Roach, no, I love you and your family. We've been doing this for years. That night, I look at all the fights. I know what he coming to do, and y'all know what he coming to do. But y'all don't know, we have history. Everybody should turn into this, because
As I always say, I don't promise knockouts, I promise punishment, Coach Calvin declared confidently. And when things get serious enough, the knockout comes naturally. He warned Roach that what's coming his way is a level of punishment unlike anything he's ever faced. While Tank Davis's fans welcomed the show of confidence, some neutral observers challenged the claim that Roach didn't face Davis at his best. That's simply false, one fan argued. Tank was scheduled to announce a fight with Jake Paul afterward. There's no way he would have taken that night lightly. Another responded, I can't stand lies. Tank was Tank that night. Roach took some of his hardest punches and stayed on his feet. That same fan also criticized the officiating. I'm still angry that the New York Commission let that knee slide. If Roach had won, this coach wouldn't be making these ridiculous claims now.
I mean, Tank been saying this several times. He on the biggest stage of his life, and he want to show up. Are you ready for it? Are you really ready for it? Are you really ready for it? Okay. Oh, he got some live people. Hey, that's the Roach I know. So when we picked this fight, it was a fight to know, like, yo.
A third fan added, "I'm glad Tank's era is coming to an end. Nothing would be better than watching Lamont Roach beat him in the ring. I'm all in for Roach on fight night." Another commenter said, "Being a true champion means knowing how to accept a draw or loss with dignity. What we're seeing from Tank and his camp is just disappointing. Ever since the fight, he's been full of excuses, saying he could have knocked Roach out, claiming he didn't know what round it was, and so on. The truth is, he met his equal in that ring and needs to accept it." Even Lamont Roach himself has previously rejected the idea that Davis wasn't at his best that night.
But right now, like you said, we got to rumble. We got to rumble, so all that shit don't matter to me right now. And I'm going to take full advantage of that because it's like he got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Or he losing his fire. Like I don't know if y'all seen the last press conference. When I got up on him, towards the end, he was getting this, you know what I'm saying? He was getting this shot. I told him, I said, oh, there that fire go right there. That's what I want to fight the best. I want to fight the best version of him.
You want the best version of Tank?
Yeah.
Following the bout, a widespread fan opinion began to form that Gervonta Davis, who had entered the fight as the favorite to defeat Roach, was overrated, judging by how the match played out. Still, few people are better positioned to offer insight than Lamont Roach himself, who went 12 full rounds toe-to-toe with Davis. On the March 18th episode of the It Is What It Is podcast, Roach addressed that exact question, aiming to clarify whether he believes Davis has been overrated.
Personally. Naj, you got anything else from Lamont?
Yo, last question. I just want to know, how has your life changed since the fight, man? Obviously we follow each other on social media. I see your followers went up, all of the other stuff kind of going up. How has things changed for you since the fight has happened?
Bruh, literally overnight, it changed. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I got to walk around with security. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I walk around with my peoples. Like, it's crazy. I can't do the same stuff that I used to do.
I definitely want people to understand. He was at his best that night. I'm telling everyone that, 100%, Roach stated. Just because he didn't meet people's expectations doesn't mean he fought poorly. Now folks are calling him trash and saying he's overrated, but he's a solid fighter. I was in there thinking, I really have to put in serious work. Roach stressed that the fight didn't diminish Davis's reputation. If anything, it made the match even more compelling. And there you have it. Both Davis and Roach will get another chance to prove who's truly the better fighter when they face off again later this year.
I can't go to the grocery store. I can't go nowhere, bro. Like, I can't do nothing. And it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy because I know that that's what this come with if I get to the level that I'm supposed to be. But when it really happened to you, like, you sit back and look at it like, damn, like, this really happened.
For years, fans associated Gervonta Davis's corner with the iconic duo of Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis. It brought to mind legendary trainer-fighter pairings like Mike Tyson with Cus D'Amato, Canelo with Eddie Reynoso, or Pacquiao with Freddie Roach. That trio, Davis, Ford, and Ellis, deeply resonated with the boxing community. So when Barry Hunter was suddenly seen accompanying Davis instead, it felt unfamiliar. It wasn't the image that fans were used to or emotionally connected.
So everything is good with Calvin because it's the first time he's not the head trainer in a while.
Yeah, for sure. Calvin, again, I said Calvin's pops.
Recent shifts in Davis's training team have sparked plenty of speculation, with fans and analysts wondering what caused the apparent shakeup. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, Coach Calvin Ford offered some clarity. As Davis prepared for his second PBC Amazon Prime Video PPV event, Ford, like many others, had high hopes and paid close attention to how the training translated in the ring. With Tank representing Baltimore and Roach coming out of DC, Ford recalled their history of sparring together. He expressed genuine respect for Roach's work ethic and called the matchup a great opportunity. Maybe people are reading it wrong. We're not switching anything up, Ford clarified, explaining that he had merely taken a step back and that the core of Davis's training camp remained unchanged. The reporter also noted that they weren't implying any sort of fallout between Ford and Davis.
He will always be around, you know what I mean? So that's pops, like I said. So he'll always be there. Without Calvin, it wouldn't be no me. You know what I mean? Because at first, when I came into
the reporter's underlying question was whether the time apart had actually strengthened their bond, similar to how family members sometimes grow closer after spending time away from each other. No, he came to see me, dead slow down. And he knows I spend time with my amateurs. You know me. Both of y'all know me well. I'm always with my amateurs. That's my piece, Coach Ford replied. Even though he wasn't directly managing Davis's training, the fact that Tank was active and in capable hands gave Ford a sense of calm. He acknowledged that the distance helped both of them realize the importance of their relationship. When Davis returned to the gym, Ford immediately sensed that the lightweight champion had missed him, just as he had missed Davis. Barry Hunter's presence also provided a level of comfort and trust that reassured Ford.
The relationship with you and Gervonta take place, being in this corner now. Will you be in this corner come Saturday night?
I will be in this corner. Here's the deal. We got a long history. Calvin called me years ago. Gervonta was a little boy, maybe 8, 9 years old. Brought him up to the gym, and we've been together ever since. Times when you don't see us, myself, and maybe Patrice Harris with him, we still write his fight plans up and everything. So we've been together.
It has now been officially confirmed that Gervonta Davis and Coach Calvin Ford have gone their separate ways after more than a decade of working together. While Coach Ford acknowledged the split, he pointed to several outside influences that may have played a role. Whether it was the way training camps were being handled, or perhaps Davis's reluctance to speak openly about the situation. Since rumors of the separation first surfaced, Davis has chosen to stay silent, offering no public comment, at least for now.
Calvin will be there, Coach Barry will be there, Coach Boogie will be there, and Kenny will be there as well. If you look at his earlier fights when he first started out, the grind, like we like to call it, I've been there, even in the amateurs, so this is nothing new. Tank is like family to us, you know what I mean? Lamont is family too, but Tank, Lamont comes to the gym and spar all the time. Tank is one that we've been...
At DC, they call me Mo. Calvin is Calvin, you know what I mean? I got Calvin tatted on me. Calvin.
It has now been officially confirmed that Gervonta Davis and Coach Calvin Ford have gone their separate ways after more than a decade of working together. While Coach Ford acknowledged the split, he pointed to several outside influences that may have played a role, whether it was the way training camps were being handled, or perhaps Davis's reluctance to speak openly about the situation. Since rumors of the separation first surfaced, Davis has chosen to stay silent, offering no public comment, at least for now.
I understand what we got to go against every time we get in there. That square box of lunch is serious. So when I talk to him, he know what I'm talking about. But let's see.
The narrative surrounding undefeated WBA lightweight champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis has taken a dramatic shift since his March 1st bout against Lamont Roach Jr., which ended in a majority draw. Many fans and analysts argue that Roach did enough to earn a decisive victory and hand Davis the first loss of his professional career. When factoring in that Davis was not penalized for taking a knee in the 9th round, a situation that should have resulted in a 10-8 round for Roach, rather than a 10-9 in Davis's favor, it becomes evident that Davis may have escaped with an unearned result.
Hey, Davis.
Truthfully speaking, it wasn't really hard to focus. I've been an underdog before, obviously not a huge underdog, but when you go back to the Jamel fight, world title fight, I was an underdog. When you go back to the Hector fight, I was an underdog. Very disrespectful underdog, honestly. So now when we get here to the Tank fight, it's just like, all right, here we go again. I feel like when my back is against the wall or against the ropes, it's like, it's time to show up.
Lamont Roach has assured fans and media that serious conversations about an immediate rematch are underway. Speaking on a podcast, Roach was firm in his stance that referee Willis should not be allowed to officiate the rematch. Hell no. No, he can't do the next fight, Roach emphasized. Look how many times he messed it up. The knee, going to the corner for help. I'm not saying he cheated, but the coach wiped Davis's face with a towel. That's not allowed. That's grounds for disqualification. After the knee, Davis turned his back on the ref. Normally, the ref would say, all right, you don't want to fight, and wave it off. Roach's frustration was palpable as he cited multiple rule violations. That went unpunished.
Cards. Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinski scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
Although Roach submitted a petition to the New York State Athletic Commission in hopes of overturning the result, it was ultimately denied. Nevertheless, both camps have confirmed plans for an immediate rematch, with reports suggesting the bout could happen by late June. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm signed and sealed. We're just waiting on the other half. That's it, Roach revealed. However, momentum slowed when Roach's team pushed for an additional review of the fight. Their goal was to ensure fairness, but ironically, that effort delayed the rematch. Timeline. While the March 1st clash between Davis and Roach had modest build-up, the controversial outcome has since turned it into one of boxing's most talked-about events.
You're now officially moving up to 35?
I mean, we gonna see. I mean, like, so I'm gonna be the champ at both weights.
Right.
And if there's no opportunity to unify at 35, I want to unify at 30. I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen.
The controversy largely centers around the 9th round of the bout, when Gervonta Davis took a knee, walked to his corner where his face was wiped with a towel, and then returned to the fight. Despite these apparent violations of protocol, referee Steve Willis did not issue any penalties, a decision that has since ignited widespread backlash and debate among fans, commentators, and boxing insiders.
Back up. That's a generous call from the.
Did he not take a knee?
Take them out. Right. Took them out.
That's right. Oh, here comes Davis. Davis exploding. And then Roach took the shots and fired back some of his own. Short left hand from Roach. Counter right hand lands by the challenger. Davis misses with the left of Roach. Check right hand in round 10, where Roach has landed 8 of 26.
The match concluded in a majority draw, paving the way for a highly anticipated rematch between the two lightweight contenders. Davis entered the ring as a heavy favorite, long seen as one of boxing's most dangerous pound-for-pound punchers, with many expecting him to land clean on Roach and deliver an early knockout. That prediction was quickly dismantled. Now, with time to reflect, fans are questioning whether Davis has been overhyped and whether Lamont Roach revealed some serious weaknesses in his game. Gervonta Davis, the newly crowned WBO lightweight champion with a perfect 13-0 record and 9 knockouts, has no relation to Gervonta Davis but expressed his interest in facing the winner of the rematch. He shared his perspective during a recent appearance on the Porterway podcast.
That fight that they had was a phenomenal fight. That joint was like one of the fights, I feel like could be one of the fights of the year. Yeah. High level, skill level, 2 boxers in there, but still trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? And I understand a fight like that because I fight how they was fighting. I just feel like I do a better job at it.
I don't think he got exposed, Gervonta Davis said of Gervonta. I just think Lamont was better than anybody expected. Lamont can really fight. I thought Tank was going to knock him out, so he proved me wrong. Lamont is just better than we gave him credit for, but I don't think Tank got exposed or anything like that. Credit to Gervonta for maintaining his professionalism and showing respect to both fighters. A refreshing contrast to many in the boxing world who were quick to disparage Tank after the match.
Whoever wins that is number 3 for me. That's how I feel.
Sauce Walker was just here the other day.
Yeah.
I asked him what he thought about the fight. He's a huge boxing fan, you know that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Huge boxing fan. He knows how to box too. He knows how to throw his hands.
He showed me some videos.
Yeah, he said,
I
want
to see that.
I said, what do you think happened? He said, he said, Roach won convincingly.
Yeah.
He said he said, I don't care about the knee. He goes, but I'm gonna tell you what. If I were Roach, I ain't doing the rematch.
On fight night, Gervonta Tank Davis entered the Barclays Center ring to defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach Jr. Most spectators anticipated a routine win for Tank, and while he did technically retain his title, the night became defined not by dominance, but by controversy. The growing perception of bias inside the ring and the belief that it denied Roach a well-earned and career-changing victory has become the story everyone's talking about.
Traded with other parts of his life that it's hard for him to use all of it inside the ring. So I think I think therapy helped. That's it.
Is it a similar fight or is it completely different now that both have had time with each other in 12 rounds?
It depends on who make the most adjustments.
Yeah. They usually say the rematch favors the boxer. Who would be the boxer in this?
Hell, they both were some boxers, but Tank is a knockout puncher. He can win, he can lose 3-4 rounds.
What stood out early was Roach's ability to outbox Davis at his own game right from the opening bell. Known for taking his time in the early rounds to study his opponents, Tank encountered a patient, disciplined Roach who refused to fight recklessly. With both fighters carefully measuring each other, the punch volume remained low. In fact, it wasn't until round 6 that Tank finally showed a spark of offense, landing
No!